Senator, kindly take your seat. Now, honorable senators, this is the communication that the majority leader was seeking earlier on. Now, this communication relates to the series of allegations that have been circulating in the media concerning the operations of certain committees and the County Public Investment and Special Funds Committees. As honorable senators may be aware, this matter began on Monday, 9th of February 2026 with a press statement issued by the Council of Governors purportedly demanding for the reconstitution of the County Public Accounts Committee on the basis of claims of political witch hunts, harassment, extortion, and intimidation, allegedly involving 4 unnamed members of the committee. A position was taken by the Council of Governors to suspend appearances before the County Public Accounts Committee until a structured engagement is held between its leadership and that of the Senate, and to limit appearances before the County Public Investment and Special Funds Committee to once per audit cycle. Subsequently, in a press statement, which I issued on Tuesday, 10th of February 2026, I reiterated the Senate's oversight role over the county governments and its firm anchorage in the Constitution. Honorable Senators, as you are aware, Article 96(3) of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 provides that the Senate determines the allocation of national revenue among counties as provided in Article 217 and exercises oversight over national revenue allocated to county governments. Further, Article 96(1) states that the Senate represents the counties and serves to protect the interests of the counties and their governments. I further reiterated that in executing its mandate, the Senate audit committees are guided by Article 229 of the Constitution, which requires Parliament to consider and dispose of audit reports within 3 months of their receipt from the Auditor General by 31st of March of each year. Compliance with this constitutional timeline is not optional, and any actions that impede the audit process undermine accountability and prudent use of public resources. I have emphasized that the Senate remains committed to fulfilling its constitutional mandate and ensuring that oversight over public funds allocated to county governments remains robust, objective, and timely, and inform the Council of Governors that should the Council have concerns regarding the conduct or operations of Senate committees, established and legitimate institutional channels exist through which such concerns may be formally raised and addressed, noting that while the Senate remains open to structured and constructive dialogue with devolution actors, recourse to public mudslinging and unsubstantiated allegations in the media and supported by evidence is neither appropriate nor conducive to intergovernmental cooperation. Now, honorable senators, subsequently, my office has received 2 letters, reference COG/6/10, volume 13, into brackets 84, dated the 9th of February 2026, and reference COG/6/10, volume 13, into brackets 85, dated 11th of February 2026. The purpose of the 2 letters from the Council of Governors is stated as being, 1, to bring to my attention that the Council of Governors' concerns and resolutions on the matter of appearances by governors before the County Public Accounts Committee and the County Public Investment and Special Funds Committee, and 2, to request for an engagement with the leadership of the Senate at the earliest opportunity to address the concerns raised with a view to developing an engagement framework with the 2 committees. In the letters, the Council of Governors further communicates the resolutions of the Council, being, 1, governors shall with immediate effect not appear before CPAC until the concerns raised about the committee are adequately and conclusively addressed. And secondly, 4 senators whom were named be removed from the affected committees as a prerequisite to restoring confidence, integrity, and fairness in the oversight process. Honorable Senators, as you're aware, Article 125 of the Constitution provides as follows. Either House of Parliament and any of its committees has power to summon any person to appear before it for the purpose of giving evidence or providing information. 2, for purposes of Clause 1, a House of Parliament and any of its committees has the same powers as the High Court to enforce the attendance of witnesses and examine them on oath, affirmation, or otherwise. B, to compel the production of documents, and C, to issue a commission or request to examine witnesses abroad. As you're further aware, pursuant to Article 96 of the Constitution, the Senate represents counties, serves to protect the interests of the counties and their governments, and exercises oversight over national revenue allocated to county governments. Honorable Senators, the thrust of the foregoing provisions, and indeed the totality of the constitutional architecture, is to vest in the legislature the power and mandate to exercise oversight over all state organs. No organ, authority, or person, not least the Senate, has the power to suspend, compromise, vary, or waive the legislature's mandates. Consequently, the resolution by the Council of Governors that governors will not appear before CPAC until the concerns raised in their letters are addressed through a structured engagement between the leadership of the Senate and the Council of Governors is untenable. Equally, the resolution by the Council of Governors that governors will only appear once for every audit cycle to respond to any queries before CPAC comprehensively is also untenable. The constitutional oversight mandate is exercised by the Senate as often as whenever the Senate, in its judgment, considers appropriate, and any purported restriction or limitation of this mandate, such as proposed, is unconstitutional. This is further underlined by the decision of the High Court in the case of Hesbon Mole Agwena and Jarius Musumba and 3 others versus Nairobi City Council and the Office of the Auditor General, where the court held that the constitutional timelines spelled out in Article 229(4) of the Constitution, which requires that the Auditor General shall, within 6 months after the end of each financial year, audit and report in respect of that financial year on the accounts of the national and county governments and all funds and authorities of the national and county governments must be complied with, and correspondingly that Parliament must debate and consider such reports within 3 months after receipt of the audit report. This puts the cut-off date for the consideration of the audit reports at 31st of March of each year and severely constrains the program of the Senate watchdog committees. Article 124 of the Constitution vests in Parliament the power to establish its committees and to make standing orders for the orderly conduct of its proceedings, including the proceedings of its committees. The power to appoint members of the committees and to remove them from the service of these committees is exclusively a power of the Senate, and the Council of Governors demand that certain senators be removed from the service of any of these committees without constitutional anchor. Honorable Senators, the foregoing notwithstanding, the request by the Council of Governors for an engagement with the leadership of the Senate is consistent with constitutional requirements of Article 6(2) and 189 of the Constitution for consultation and cooperation between the 2 levels of government, and is welcome. Accordingly, I have invited the leadership of the Council of Governors to a meeting with the leadership of the Senate to be held on Thursday, 26th of February 2026 at 10 a.m. at the Mini Chamber County Hall, Parliament buildings here in Nairobi. In the meantime, I have made it clear to the Council of Governors that as a condition for going ahead with the meeting on the proposed date, the constitutional provisions on legislative oversight must be clearly understood to be enforced, and accordingly, any governor invited or summoned to appear before any committee of the Senate must do so. failing which the consequences provided for in the Constitution